Hey everyone, welcome back to Cosmic Life Astrology. I am so happy to be here. I want to thank everyone for the positive feedback from my last video about the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction. I've received a lot of emails and comments, and I enjoyed reading all of them and responding to all of you. It really helps motivate me to keep doing what I'm doing and forging ahead with this channel. This has definitely been a dream that I've had for a long time, and I'm happy to be here and, talk about astrology and help people understand what's going on. It's, the more you learn about it, the more fascinating it is, and that's why I've had such a pretty much a lifelong fascination with it. So thank you, everyone. I do want to start out by making sure I say that because I was overwhelmed with joy when I saw everyone's feedback. So I want to also acknowledge some of the things and questions that I've been getting asked by people regarding the energy that has been starting to transpire over the past couple of days. There's been a lot of intensity as I'm taping this. Jupiter and Uranus are making their official conjunction today. It's Saturday. And we have Mercury, who's basically screeching to a halt, getting ready to station direct in the middle of the week. And it's only going to move a degree, so it makes Mercury's energy very potent. And any planet, when it's preparing to go from retrograding to direct, that planet's energy becomes very potent. And so with Mercury preparing to go direct, there could be a lot of information coming at you, a lot of communications coming at you from all different directions, or your thought process. Your thoughts could be all over the place right now with Mercury, preparing to go direct. And that could be very overwhelming in itself. And adding the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction, which is very strong energy because they are two slow-moving planets making a conjunction, people could be feeling that. And, I would hope that brings a little more grounding because it's in Taurus, an earth sign. And it could be helping some people kind of calm down the chaos from Mercury right now. And we're also approaching a Scorpio full moon, and that alone is intense energy. So let's dive into what the week's going to bring. It is going to be a lot of intense, strong, potent energy. But we're going to finish out the week with more positive energy. So I want to preface that because I don't want anybody to get scared about what I'm going to talk about at the beginning of the week. It is only going to be, up until Thursday, it's going to be a little challenging, but then we're going to finish out strong in time for the weekend. So you'll be able to relax and have fun on the weekend and forget about all the troubles that you may have faced at the beginning of the week. So we start out Monday with the moon in Libra making an opposition to Mercury during the daytime. And then as we get into the evening on Monday, the moon in Libra is going to oppose Chiron and Venus. And at the same time that we see the oppositions happening, we'll have the moon conjuncting the south node and Mercury retrograde conjuncting the north node. Okay, so we're talking about Aries and Libra oppositions that are happening. So self and other relationships and your own needs. And when we have a moon in Libra, we're talking about wanting to have emotional balance or balance in our relationships of all kinds, not just love. And making an opposition to Mercury retrograde, that opposition could bring some challenges. And when we're having Mercury retrograde conjuncting the North Node, Mercury wants to talk about it, wants to think about it, in order for it to know what direction to go towards, right? When we're talking about the North Node, which is pulling Mercury forward, or at least trying to. It's not going to go forward quite yet, but this could trigger some disappointments with love and prosperity and relationships of any kind, really. And we have Jupiter and Uranus not quite perfectly making a sextile to Mars and Pisces, but it's pretty close to a perfect sextile. And I think that energy is going to help us tap into our higher mind and our wisdom in order to manifest our dreams and plan our next steps towards those dreams and what it is that we want for ourselves, right? So that is going to be a supportive energy to get through those oppositions. On Tuesday, we're going to have the full moon in Scorpio. It will be at 4 degrees, and the sun and the moon are going to make a T-square to Pluto in Aquarius, which is very interesting. When we're talking about full moons, it's always an emotional energy. It plays out over a 2-week time period usually. And when we have a T-square involved in something like this, that could very much bring a challenging energy to that full moon and whatever's coming to culmination, right? And when you're T-squaring Pluto, which likes to reveal, likes to dig things up from under the rug and rebuild things that, may not have been on firm footing. We're talking about the Phoenix rising, right? Death and rebirth. A moon in Scorpio, right? Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. So, it is going to be a positive outcome. And I say positive because when we're talking about the ruler of the full moon making a square, that means that Pluto's trying to support Scorpio in what it's trying to transform, okay? And what it's trying to bring to a culmination, right? It may be challenging because Pluto is deep, and there may be things that come up that are hard to face. And people with the Scorpio moon, and I want to explain this for a reason, they can be stubborn and have a very strong will, but they also could be hurt easily, or they could be jealous or judgmental, and have a tendency of being disappointed because they like to go after what they want. And very often when they get what they want, they realize that they never really wanted it to begin with. It's like, they get that disappointment. It's, whatever shiny thing they were going after really wasn't all that it was cracked up to be. So you may see some kind of situation like this occur where, you were going after what you thought you wanted, and then when you have it, you realize that's not really what I wanted. That didn't turn out to be what I thought it was going to be, and you may need to make a change. We're talking about a square. The moon is squaring Pluto and the sun is squaring Pluto, and that requires change and compromise. And I think we may see, because there's also a connection with Juno between all three, the sun, the moon, and Pluto. They're all making a different kind of connection with Juno. I think we're going to see a change and a challenge in regards to our commitments. And we haven't seen some Juno activity in a while. I talked about it a lot last month, I believe it was, where we saw a lot of connections with Juno while it was retrograding. But now Juno's being brought back into the mix during this full moon. So I think it's going to be very much a focus on our commitments and what needs to change, what needs to transform. Maybe some relationships will be ending during this time, or they could be changing in ways that they should have already, changed. Maybe a work relationship dynamic needs to be changed, or if it's a love relationship, there may be certain dynamics playing out where you need to break free of them and do things differently in order for that relationship to last. But when we're talking about Pluto making a square or T-square to this full moon, I think there will be more often than not relationships ending, because we're talking about death and rebirth, and during a full moon, which brings things to culmination. So I'm sorry to deliver that. During the first few days, that could be the most intense time. So Tuesday through Thursday, we'll see the moon in Scorpio, and that's where you'll feel this energy more intensely. On Thursday, we will see Mercury retrograde, station at 15 degrees and conjunct the North Node. At around 9 a.m. Eastern time, it's going to officially station direct, and now get back into its forward motion. And I think with the conjunction of the North Node, because Mercury, is kind of stopped, it's not going anywhere yet, because it went from, essentially, it's not moving backwards, but it's functioning backwards, right? So now it's like, okay, I was functioning backwards, now you want me to change direction and go forward. It's not going to happen very quickly. It needs time to be able to move forward. But that North Node is trying to pull Mercury towards some kind of forward motion. And this could literally be, in regards to travel, because we're talking about Mercury, the planet of transportation. But I think a lot of it is going to be in regards to communications that need to be had, or compromises that need to take place. This could be rethinking some things that you were doing or ideas that you had, because Mercury is cerebral. So this could be an internal process that you have to go through as well. The moon in Scorpio is going to make an opposition to Jupiter and Uranus and Taurus. So keep in mind not to do anything excessively when we're talking about the moon opposing Jupiter. That could bring some kind of emotional excess, or some kind of excessive energy about, Venus related topics like love, money, and creativity. With Uranus making the opposition to the moon, there could be very surprising emotions that come up, or something gets revealed that could be surprising. Uranus also likes to bring change. So, whatever comes up, when we're talking about it making an opposition to the moon in Scorpio, which is, a death and rebirth energy, this could very much, further ignite that possibility for change that I spoke about for the full moon. We will also see the moon make a quincunx to Chiron. And a quincunx is an uncomfortable connection. It's not positive or negative, it's just kind of hard to navigate, right? And with the moon making this kind of connection to Chiron, we're talking about some uncomfortable emotions, right? which could further trigger some upsets, some things that need to be released. And, you know, whether it's wounds or, you know, something from the past or something, you know, that currently comes up that could be painful. You know, this is basically another way that the universe is trying to align you with, you know, releasing things that need to be released so you can move forward. We have Mars and Neptune basically a degree apart during this time. So there's very much this energy building up with their approaching conjunction of needing to take a step back before you can step forward and take action. As we get to the weekend, we're going to see the moon go into Sag. So now we're talking about a lighter energy starting to, you know, build up after all that intense Scorpio energy. On Saturday, we'll see the moon make a trine to the North Node and to Mercury in Aries, which is a very positive opportunity and an optimistic energy. You know, we're talking about Sagittarius, which is ruled by Jupiter and is very much about, you know, adventure and optimism and, you know, using your higher mind and wanting to be free, right? And with a trine to Mercury in the North Node, this very much could be, you know, that you want to break free of whatever was holding you back and maybe, you know, maybe pursue being around other people, going on an adventure with other people during the weekend. This could bring opportunities for just some really positive communication when we're talking about the trine to Mercury. And we also will see the moon make a trine to Chiron, which could also help bring some healing opportunities. The moon is optimistic in Sag, so this could definitely help, you know, help us recover from the challenging energies earlier in the week. And then on Sunday, we're going to see the moon in Sag make a trine to Venus in Aries. So now we're talking, you know, more of a love, money focus, creativity focus. But the adventure seeker in Sag, this could, you know, this could be an opportunity for a lot of fun and adventure. This could be inspiring some creative potential, some just some really charismatic kind of energy as well. Sagittarius is charismatic, and making that trine to Venus and Aries, which is about the self, and, you know, Venus is a very positive, benefic planet. I could see this being, you know, a lot of charismatic kind of vibes. You know, kind of like the, I can't quite pinpoint the word that I'm looking for, but we'll just leave it at, this is a very optimistic energy, because the word is just not coming to me. Mercury retrograde. It's very positive energy, and we will see the conjunction of Mars and Neptune take place as well. So that's happening at 28 degrees of Pisces. Mars in Pisces is not quite comfortable, but making a conjunction to the ruler in Pisces, this very much can trigger you to want to escape and relax. This could be, you know, a very inspiring energy with Mars conjuncting Neptune in Pisces, because, you know, we're talking about having dreams and visions, and Mars is, you know, dreaming up of what he wants to pursue and the next steps he wants to take and the options that he's got. He's not going to take those steps until he goes into Aries next week, but he's going to, you know, think of all these goals and visions that he has. So the weekend overall would be a great opportunity to, you know, go away for the weekend, go spend time with family and friends, go on, you know, go on some kind of adventure, have some fun. The energy is right for it. And it will be very well deserved with all of the heavier energy during the beginning and midweek. So I hope this helps you understand what's ahead for us. And, you know, forewarned is forearmed, as they say. And energy is very fluid. You know, the planets are always moving. So, you know, even the difficult energies don't last forever. So as we can see this week, you know, it will be a tough start, but it will end very nicely and have a lot more positive energy for the weekend. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel and share your thoughts and comments. I respond to all of them, and I do enjoy hearing, you know, how you feel the energy, what your experiences are, and even your thoughts on, you know, what may come for you. And stay tuned for more videos. I'll be back with more.